My name's Luke with Oakland Realty. I'm going to give you your May Vancouver housing update. Starting off with the most important thing, of course, is the Bank of Canada's interest rate announcement that was just announced, and they have reduced for the first time in a long time. And so it's gotten people very excited. I've got a lot of messages asking me about, how this is going to affect the market. I think realistically, 25 basis points isn't going to move the needle too much. But what it does do is it creates hope, signal that they may be reducing more in the future. One of the main driving factors for the housing market is sentiment and how people are feeling. And so I think this is definitely a nudge in the right direction to try and, as far as like getting more sales happening right now, because, if we look at sales activity, had the fewest amount of sales in Greater Vancouver since 2000. And I'm talking about like months of May in the past. Besides May of 2020, which was, doesn't really count because that was when we were still locked inside and people were washing their groceries and whatnot. We're not getting that many sales, and we have a ton of inventory on the market. And so you've got to start to think like prices are probably going to start to come down. You'd think. So speaking of inventory, we've had the highest amount of total houses on the market since May of 2021. And what I'm seeing is, from a boots on the ground perspective, homeowners that are trying to sell, they're kind of hanging on to this like higher price that they want, and so they'll be listing it at a certain price, and then they reduce, but then it's kind of like a stale old listing, and it seems to just sit there. And you'll see some of these ones like reduce, and it's not that bad of a product really, but it's just not selling for whatever reason. And I think like there's just no urgency for buyers out there until potentially these rate reduction announcements that we just had our first one. I saw an interesting chart, and it was major cities in Canada, the pricing corrections that they're starting to see since the peak of the market in early spring of 2022. And places like my hometown of London, Ontario have seen 30% corrections since that time. And I actually called my friend who's a realtor there, and I was like, hey, are people in trouble there, or what's going on? And she said around her office there's definitely some people that were overextended back then, and they went on a variable rate so they could bid as high as they possibly could, and now they're in trouble. A lot of people kind of have their eye on that. We still got like about 50% of mortgages that are up for renewal. 25 basis points of relief is nice, but at the end of the day, realistically, a lot of these people were locked in at like 2.5-3%, and so there's still going to be a significant jump. Even if they reduce a couple more times. Prices have been pretty flat for the past year, and I think it's just kind of one of those markets that's like a little bit boring, a little bit steady. Things are just kind of chugging along, and good products that hit the market are still going into multiple offers. So to summarize, we have a lot of inventory on the market, some places sitting stagnant. Prices potentially going to be coming down if there is enough inventory sitting on the market and people need to get rid of these places. And starting to see corrections around Canada, massive corrections, not so much in Vancouver, but in other major cities. We had an interest rate reduction, so we'll see how that affects sales. I believe if there's more reductions, then sales will start to creep up, and along with that, prices may start to go up as well. If you're thinking of making a move in Vancouver, feel free to reach out. Happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching.